Welcome everyone to the next installment of This Month in Microsoft Teams. My name is Tim Homan. I'm a project manager with Peters and Associates, and one of the areas that I was tasked with was to become the subject matter expert for Microsoft Teams. And that task is a moving target because the Teams app is updated so frequently. And that's kind of why we came up with this series, This Month in Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to look at functionality, new features. I'll try to throw in some tips and tricks where I can. So let's get started with what's new from July. So have to start each one of these out with why are we using the go-to platform for a Teams meeting? And a lot of reasons. We're licensed for it because we made the decision a couple of years ago when Teams didn't have a registration process. Now that they do have that, it's something we'll consider, but I was actually doing some practicing, and I had two Teams meetings going at the same time, logged in with two different users, two completely separate meetings, and when I quit one, it quit them both. So it still may not be a good platform to demo Teams in. So we'll keep an eye on it, and maybe a future meeting will be a Teams meeting. So our agenda for today, light like always, just a high-level overview. I've got a whole bunch of features that are new pretty much from July. I kind of picked out the ones that I thought would be interesting. So I'll show them in a PowerPoint, and then I'll jump out and actually demo most of them. And then we'll leave some time for questions at the end. So here's my Microsoft slide, kind of introducing Teams. Imagine a world where you can have your meetings, your chat, phone calls, share files, not replace email, but greatly reduce email, incorporate applications like to-do lists, things like that, have dashboards to represent data, integrating tools like Power BI right into Teams. So you can integrate these processes and applications, automate routines. I think we're over 1,000 third-party applications right now. It's communication, it's collaboration, it's all in one application. Another way of looking at it, Teams helps you not replace email, but reduce. I think last month I talked about the integration between Outlook and Teams, and there's just a ton of integration between the two. Your calendar pulls right from your Outlook, so great integration there. Teams really excels at, it's file sharing, it's co-authoring, right? You create a team site, and that's how you collaborate. Calls and meetings. We partner with a great company, Call Tower. We're actually going to have them present next month, and they're going to talk about their Teams voice solution, and they have the whole package. So if it's faxing or a paging system, or using your Teams phone to open the door of your business, they can do all of that. Chat, it's the most basic function, and it just helps you connect across your organization. So our implementation for Teams looks like this, a little more complicated. These sessions are really envisioning sessions. We can do much more detailed, kind of really with an organization looking at the whole Teams application. Governance, you have to talk about governance before you start. I've got a slide coming up, talks about how people think they have controls in place, but they may not. So very important conversation to have before you get started. And it just works you around to adoption planning, finally implementation. So we can help out anywhere around there. So why Teams? I just saw a new stat from Microsoft. Now they say they have 250 million monthly active users. So Team launched in 2017. It's really been the last couple of years that it's utilization has just skyrocketed. A lot of that's through the COVID. They added 115 million daily active users, so it's just crazy how popular it's become. It's really the only platform that incorporates everything. Zoom's great for meetings, but it doesn't have all the collaboration and file sharing, integration with Office and things like that. 50,000 when it launched, organizations using Teams. Now it's over 500,000, and 91 of the Fortune 100 companies use Microsoft Teams. So next slide, I've taken the new features and kind of broken it down a little so you can kind of see, and it's really this green portion that is really driving features. So it's the ones that are in development that are going to get dropped, each quarter. So last year in 2020, Microsoft released over 300 new features, and they have projected 400 for 2021. I don't think they'll all be released. There's actually a few that were canceled, that little red bar down there, but it's still impressive to see the number of features that they are working on, and they're actually, they're dropping them quarter by quarter. So it is impressive. Just another, Teams numbers, bit of information. So research was done, and they surveyed workers, really kind of asking, how much time do you spend using different tools? And 43% of the people that were surveyed said they thought they were spending too much time switching between different tools. And it's lack of productivity. I think 62% of those workers felt they were missing out on opportunities to collaborate. And I just bring this up because I think Teams really would address that specific issue. You can do everything in one application, right? You can communicate, you can have meetings, you can share content, right? You can integrate third-party tools all in that one application. So it's really going to help your organization collaborate and really stay on task, not kind of get lost in the shuffle of all the applications. So this month we're going to talk about updates for July. Again, I just throw this in there to let you know this is not intended to be training. It's really just a high-level overview. And I can offer training if it's something your company needs. I can do a half-hour session, an hour. I've done 2 hours. So just keep that in mind. Here is my list for July. It's long. It's just a lot of little things, but I thought it's just some good nuggets just to keep you informed of what's going on. A couple things that aren't on that list that just came out on August 19th. Microsoft posted a blog kind of the same time they announced their new pricing. But with that, they're incorporating some new functionality. So anybody that uses Teams now knows if you want people to be able to dial into a meeting, you need what's called an audio conferencing license. And those used to be $4 per user per month. There was a promo where they were giving you those for a year free. Now they're going to roll those into all their license tiers. So if you have a business license, a government license, enterprise license, it used to be only E5. Now it will be included in any of those. So I think it's great functionality. Not only lets you dial in, but you can dial out from a meeting. So you can like 3-way conference call and those kinds of things. Another thing that isn't on my list, but I wanted to talk about here, it's the Teams display. And this is a new type of device. Currently, this Lenovo ThinkSmart is the only one that you can get. I think Yealink is working on one. And what's so neat about this is it's an 8-inch touchscreen dedicated Teams device. I've seen it for as little as $250. And what you could do is just set this down on your desk, and it's again, one touch join. So your calendar's in there, you sign into it just like you do on any Teams application. There's no setup. So you can continue to work on your laptop and join the meeting from a device like this. It could be added to a small conference room, or you could use it in your office or at home. So I just thought it's a great way to really help your utilization of Teams. If a lot of times people are in deep into work when a meeting comes up and they've got all these windows open, and Teams can be a resource hog, and it sometimes makes the experience less than ideal. So $250, get a dedicated device. All right, so here is my first new feature for July, and I've tested this one and it's not out yet, but what it's going to let you do is, if you have a meeting and you enable transcriptions during that meeting, you'll be able to use the universal search feature in Teams to search through the transcription of that meeting to find it. So I was just playing around. There's a Microsoft PowerPoint part of my demo, which talks about this Mark 8 as a 3D printer. And so I just, the transcription isn't perfect. It's good enough though. But if I wanted to search for like 3D printer, then this meeting would show up. So it's pretty powerful, especially if you're in a lot of meetings, or if you miss a meeting, you have that ability to search through the right transcription of the meeting just using the universal search. Another new feature is the ability to lock a meeting. Probably not something you use all the time. I was actually just on a meeting with Microsoft, and they were actually kind of going over some of these same features. And so it can be annoying if people come late to meetings and there are pop-ups or notifications, if someone's dialing in and announces their name, or if you just want to, be a little more strict with your meetings. What you can do is, once the meeting started, you click on participants, click on the three dots, and you can lock the meeting, and that's it. Nobody else can join. So may not be for all the meetings, but there may be some situations where you find that necessary. This one I really like. It's the ability to set up a meeting to auto record. I was actually doing a training the other day, and about 15 minutes in, I realized I forgot to start the recording. And it's just something I like to do for customers when I'm doing a training session, is record it so they have it as a resource. So fortunately, it was the second time I was doing the same training. So I had the first one, but checking that option, it's under meeting options. I'll show you where. You don't have to remember it. When you start the meeting as the organizer, it automatically starts recording the meeting. Something you may or may not see, it's paging on the video gallery. So if you look down the bottom here, I've highlighted it. This is the large gallery view. I don't even know what it is, 9x9. And if you have more video on than that, you can click that little arrow and see the next page of a video. And the meeting I was in, they actually did this. There was like 250 people in the meeting, and they enabled the ability for people to turn their cameras on and have more of a conversation. Typically, it's a presentation, and I actually had joined on my cell phone because I was getting ready for this meeting, And on my cell phone, I could see 9 videos at a time, and I was able to just swipe and see the next, oh, it was 10, the next 10, the next 10, the next 10. So it was really cool to be able to see that. So it works in the large gallery, and it also works on the regular 3x3. So if you could have 9 videos on the screen. If another 3 people joined, you'd have that little arrow down there, and you could switch and see the next 3. I think something that a lot of people will appreciate, it's the ability to have organization-wide backgrounds. So when the ability to add a custom background first came out, I made these for Peters and Associates, and then we sent out instructions for everyone on how to install them. And what this feature will let you do is, from the admin console, go in and add these as backgrounds. So it's a pretty cool feature. It just makes the meetings a little more personal when you have your own branded background. Another feature that was added, it's the ability to monitor call health. So if someone's regularly having issues, what you can do is click on the 3 dots from your meeting and click on the call health, and you'll get lots of good information. So it'll help troubleshoot, and you'll be able to tell if it's your end or their end. Probably a little more technical, but definitely great information if people are having issues. Next is the attendance dashboard. So after a meeting, there's still a way to download an attendance report from within the meeting, but this is a lot nicer. After the meeting, you can go back and edit the meeting, and you have all these. Earlier I showed the recording and transcripts, but attendance is here, and you can see who was in the meeting, how long, and what their role is. So you can go back at any time, and that's going to be there. There's a couple things on this screen. One is the new chat pop-up. So if you don't have the chat window open, chats are going to pop up. It depends, I think, on what you're presenting, but it just makes it easier so you don't have to have that part of the meeting open. You'll see the chats pop up. And then the second thing I was highlighting here is the ability to lower all raised hands. So you could have several people that were asking questions, and maybe just moving on from that part of the meeting, and you just want to lower them all. So you just click the 3 dots, and you can pick lower all hands. So it's kind of a nice feature to have instead of trying to go in and find everybody with their hand raised and individually lower them. And the next is the option. I actually had somebody ask about this months ago. They wanted to force teams to open the desktop applications when they were opening an Office document. And so now you have that option. You actually have 3 options. You can use Teams, you can use a browser, or a desktop app. So it's, again, making it more customizable, making it easier for you to use the applications you're familiar with. Editing a document in a browser, the browser apps are light versions. They don't have all the same features. And so sometimes it's just nice to be able to open an Excel file in Excel, and you can have that choice. And I think the last one I have now is safe links, which is nothing new in the Office environment, but now you can enable safe link protection in Microsoft Teams. And so if someone puts a link somewhere, in real time, Microsoft will examine it and actually pop out a warning to tell you that's not a safe link. All right, so let's get out of this and let's demo some of these things. So, all right. So first is that ability to search. So typically you would come up here and you would type in what you want to search for. I just want to show you where that would be. This is the meeting I was playing around with. So if I just I can double click it, I can click it and edit it. But now I have this recordings and transcript tab up here. It's probably already on it. I started the meeting several times testing this, but here's the transcript from the meeting. And so theoretically, when this feature fully rolls out, I'll be able to just pick something that I know is here and I'll be able to search for it and it'll show up. So that was the first thing I wanted to show. I got a meeting set up and I will have a couple people join it. And all right, so now I have my meeting going and Grady is in it with me and that's it. I don't want anybody else to be able to join. So I click on participants and then I click the three dots here and now I can lock the meeting. So no one else will have the ability to join. They can come if they were part of the meeting, they can view the information after the meeting's over, but that's it. They cannot join. So that's that one. I'm just going to end the meeting because I like that better. Kicks everybody out. Next, I want to show, so I'm going to edit this meeting because this is where you get to the meeting options right here. And so this page gives you a lot of different options for the meeting. And if this was a reoccurring meeting, this would be a great way to set it. It's not something I think you would want to set organizationally because you don't want to record every meeting. So it's going to be more of an individual choice, but here is record automatically. So now that I have that enabled, I can save this and I will go back into that meeting and I'll show you. Yeah. So I'm going to join it again. And this time the dialog box will pop up saying that this meeting is being recorded. It's nice this way because if there are multiple organizers, the one that enables that option is going to be the one that can control the recording and where it's at. So here we go, recording is started. And just another option I want to make sure everybody's aware of is that transcription. So to get that right, to show up in your recording of the meeting, you have to make sure you come in here and start the transcription. And so now when I go back into this meeting after it's done, it'll show me all the text that has been transcribed. So let me do another real quick. I'm going to do a raise hand. Raise hand. Right, so now Grady has raised his hand. I can come over to participants, click on the three dots, and here's the option to lower all hands. And again, like I had mentioned before, right, you can still download the attendance. So if you wanted that as a Excel spreadsheet or something like that, you could do it during the meeting. Right, so I'm gonna leave again. And now we should have some more information on this meeting. So let's blow that up a little bit. We'll edit this. Takes a second for the transcription to show up. There it is. It must not have picked up anything I was saying because it started a little bit after the meeting was going, but this is where you would see it. And again, here's the attendance. So it should show 2 people because there were only 2 of us in the meeting. So it's pretty cool how quickly you have access to that information. So Okay, I want to show you how to select how you want to open documents in Teams. So this is moved. It used to be you click on your icon, and that's where you would get to your settings. Now it's the three dots up here. You go to settings. It's right on the general tab. You just scroll down to the bottom. It's not rolled out everywhere yet. That's interesting. I may not have the preview turned on. So right now I have these two options. Interesting. Let's see if I have it. Yeah, interesting. I had it when I took the picture for the other meeting. Again, this is stuff that's being rolled out as we speak. So it's not, all the options aren't there yet. But earlier I had the option to do desktop app, and that's where you'll find it. It's going to come out. So, and then the last thing I wanted to show was the safe links. So we're getting right at my half hour, and that's what I'm trying to stick to. So what I did was I posted a link in the human resources site, and this is just a link that Microsoft provides to test things. So here's the link. If this was bad and you clicked on it, what would happen is you would get this warning. So again, protecting people from themselves, right? Someone may not have known it was a malicious link, and they posted it on a site. And the last thing you want is everyone in your organization clicking on links, thinking that they're okay. So it's just a great option that is built in. You know, it's a couple of clicks to get it set up on the back end, and offers you great peace of mind. So those are the new features for July. You know, any questions on anything I've shown today or any questions in general, I'd be happy to answer those. I just want to throw out what's coming up. So this month in cyber, next week, and then our next, we have a CMMC in September, and then another this month in Teams after that. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you again in a month.